We are officially live here. I just left the UCSS studios. I got home. On the way home, I get a tweet from Adrian Wojnarowski as the Blue Angels fly from my apartment right now. That's that noise you hear behind me. But guys, Donovan Mitchell's a Cleveland Cavalier. So I don't think we would ever be saying after the reports of the Utah Jazz turning down 5 first-round picks and players from the Knicks. We thought the price was too high, but hey, he's a Cavalier. Bull, you have the details, and let's go around the horn with some initial first thoughts here.
All right, guys, here we go. This is the exact trade that the Cleveland Cavaliers are making, according to Adrian Wojnarowski. Utah, the Cavs are getting Donovan Mitchell. According to him, that's all they're getting, which is fine for us. In return, Utah gets Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton, Agbaji. I don't know how to pronounce his first name. I don't remember. 3 unprotected first-round picks. Doesn't say what year. That might be out there, but it doesn't say here what year. And 2 pick swaps.
It's the next 5 years, Bull. You can't trade back-to-back first-round picks. It'll be a first-round pick, a pick swap, a first-round pick, a pick swap, and then another first-round pick. So
okay, so that's what it is.
They won't have their own first-round pick.
So in terms of the players, right, like, okay, Agbaji, well, who cares? He's a rookie. Markkanen you didn't really need. Nice player. Obviously, going from Sexton to Donovan Mitchell is a huge upgrade.
Yes.
Right? And then, you give up the first-round picks. I mean, they gave up a lot here, but who cares? You now have 4. Donovan Mitchell's your best player. I mean, as good as the big 3 are, he's your best player, right? Anybody disagree or no?
No. I mean, now you have...
Currently, yes. But
yes.
That DG will be the best.
Well, listen. You take what they get. They gave the 3 first-round picks up. But when you got Donovan Mitchell, I think they made a decision that said, listen, in the playoffs, we got to pay Trae Young. We got to play these guards. We got to get more scoring involved. You literally have a top of the flight, top line shooting guard. You now have a point guard who is an all-star who's going to continue to get more work, but get better. And you also have your bigs down low, and then obviously you got the crown jewel of what you're trying to do in Evan Mobley. And right now, if Evan Mobley continues to hit his ceiling, you have ball players at every single position, and they'll still continue to mix and match with guys in at the small forward. But right now, this puts the Cleveland Cavaliers securely, in my opinion, as a top 5 potential team in the East.
Can I say 2 things? 2 things.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
First and foremost, they just got a top 20 player in the league without giving up any of their 3 best players. That doesn't happen in the modern NBA. When you trade for a star, you have to give up a legitimate young asset. And the Utah Jazz were the perfect trade partner for the Cavs in this sense because they don't want to be good. They literally want to be as bad as humanly possible and regain as much draft capital as possible. They now have 10 first-round draft picks from trading away Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. And also, when you look at the Eastern Conference is absolutely loaded. Before this trade, I think you can make the Cavaliers a case to be the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th best team, but there was no guarantee that they were a playoff team in the top 8, not with the new playing system. Before this trade, you had to go out and get some hired guns to put yourself in that upper echelon of the Eastern Conference here. And they just got Donovan freaking Mitchell, who, listen, he's averaged 26.5 points per game last year. The dude's a walking bucket, and there's going to be some defensive issues with him and Garland in the backcourt. Neither really plays defense. They're both undersized for their positions, but offensively, bro, I'm going to just leave it at this, Tyvis. Bro.
When you think about last year, what frustrated me last year was like after Darius Garland had to carry them and he got fatigued, like we had nobody that could go. If Darius Garland wasn't facilitating, nobody could score. Now you got a guy who can create a rim, that's a certified bucket getter. Man, listen, they had to do this. After Atlanta got DeJounte Murray with Trae Young and DeJounte, that was a crazy backcourt. Just as good. I'm not saying that our 3-point shooting is crazy like Trae's, but man, these two together. Listen, Cleveland could potentially be one of the best sport towns in America. It's going hard. If the Browns play like they supposed to, and not man, listen, downtown gonna be turned.
Hey guys, I'm thinking about the starting lineup, right? So you got the 4 guys will be starting, and I guess like who's the fifth starter? Is it Okoro? Is it or do you start Karis LeVert?
I would
come off the bench.
I would think about. I'm going to say I would think about starting Karis LeVert because he's a longer individual than Isaac Okoro. Who are you pulling? Who you putting in that position?
Listen, you can't. There's no way you can start LeVert. All LeVert can do is score, and he ain't going to get the ball with Garland and Mitchell on the floor. He needs to be running on the second unit so he could be the main point of that offense.
And think about this, guys. Like, okay, let's say they start Okoro because you want one defensive guy, right? So you start Garland and Mitchell and Okoro and Mobley and Allen, which is obviously an excellent starting lineup. And then you got two guys who can score big time in Kevin Love and Karis LeVert coming off the bench. Plus, what's his name? The veteran point guard they brought back. Ricky Rubio. I know he might not be ready for the start of the season, right? He's not going to be ready quite at the beginning of the season, but eventually you have Rubio with Love and LeVert coming off the bench. I don't know who, your other depth guy, but like in the playoffs, in theory, if everybody were healthy, that's a hell of a top 8 right there. And everybody outside of Okoro, 7 of your top 8 guys in the rotation can all score.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have questions about that size of a backcourt. Isaac Okoro is not that big. That would, to me, you got 3 guys under the size of 6'5" guard wings and 6. Now that's down the line. It's Jetty Osman and all those other guys. But here's the thing: you can't have a perfect starting 5.
No,
I don't really care who is at that position. You got 4 of the top guys that at their position. You talk about. We haven't even talked about the impact of down low. You talk about Mobley, you got Allen, and Allen don't have to do nothing but block shots, rebounds, rim run, and do exactly what he's doing right now, and he'll be ready to go.
Yeah,
I'm just excited about this because now you have an opportunity that you can go punch for punch, swing for swing, shot for shot with some of the best teams in the backcourts, and it's a guards game. I'm gonna be honest with you now. It's a guards game,
no doubt.
And Tyvis said it best. There was times where we looked at when we had guards that were coming off from the floor. We had a situation where we couldn't get no buckets. The thing slowed down. They started doubling and trapping and doing things to Darius Garland, and they could not take no chances. And I'm just surprised that they even had the heart to do this move because this doesn't seem like a Cavs move to me.
Well, I'll tell you guys, I don't know.
It's a Cleveland move now. Them picks, man. We gotta win.
Hey, I made moving to Cleveland popular, guys. Listen, I come, and Deshaun Watson comes, then Donovan Mitchell comes. Listen,
I'll tell you guys, what a turnaround Kobe Altman has had in this town. I mean, like 2 years ago, I'm like, this guy stinks. He don't know what he's doing. He's a disaster. I was looking to run him out of town 2 years ago. And in the last 2 years, they've upgraded the talent on this team so much. It really is amazing. Garland really developed last year. Obviously, the trade for Jarrett Allen was sensational. The draft of Mobley was great. The trade for Donovan Mitchell is great. Getting Kevin Love to have a good attitude and accept the role on the bench. I know LeVert didn't work out last year, and we'll see, but I still think it was a good move.
We'll drop that. Yeah. Drop that one more time. Somebody says, who all got traded? Drop the trade for us one more time.
So here's the exact trade. I'm going to give it to you right now. It is Cavs get Donovan Mitchell. That's it. The Cavs trading away Lauri Markkanen, Agbaji, one of the rookies they just drafted, Colin Sexton, 3 unprotected first-round picks and 2 pick swaps. So, in other words, I believe it's in the 20. So the Cavs will give up their first-round pick in 23. The Jazz will have the right to swap picks in 24. Cavs give up their pick in 25, swap again in 26 if the Jazz want to, and they get the Cavs pick in 27. Now, if this doesn't work, obviously it's a disaster because now you have essentially no good picks for the next 5 years. But I think the odds of this not working are so slim that it's totally worth it. And if this works as well as I think the 4 of us all think it's going to work, the team's going to be so good for at least the next 3 years. We'll see about 4 and 5, but at least the next 3 years that who cares about the draft picks because they're all going to probably be bottom 10 picks anyway.
Hey, Tyvis, don't leave, but we got to drop you for 1 second because we got our residential Cavs big man trying to hop in here. So, Tyvis, don't go away. We'll get back to you in 1 sec. But hold on. We got Mr. Sellers.
Where is
the house? What's up,
Look
Brad?
at this.
Gentlemen.
Brad, Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell.
Man, this is the greatest thing that could have happened.
Yeah.
Listen, let me just be candid with you, right?
Yes.
And you remember, Bull, I'm telling you about this thing, right? Sexton didn't want his role. He didn't want it. And like, you listen, you go have to go somewhere else. That's what's going to happen. Nothing personal. And I said, look at what we just did, right? And I just heard you talking about Kobe Altman's done a hell of a job because it's no nonsense. The window for us being at a championship level, it's here. We got young players and a window. And I said for the longest, we needed one person to put us over the hump, to really put us in the conversation. And be able to swing a deal to send Lauri Markkanen, Abaji, and Sexton in a sign and trade to Utah for Donovan Mitchell. Because now we have what we did not have last play-in season. We did not, had a go-to guy down the stretch that could deliver, right? And now you got a go-to guy and a go-to guy in training, which is Garland coming, and Mobley on the rise. And I'll lose Markkanen because I'll fill Markkanen's role with Mobley's brother, right?
I like him too.
Right? And so I said, we have made some moves, and they must have known that this was coming because the acquisition of the additional capital, these future picks, listen, we're going all in now because the window is now, because in a short time here, salary's going to push these players out of here. You better go now. And I think it was one bold move that needed to be done so now the Cavs are really in the conversation.
And by the way, guys, you think about this, right? They've got Donovan Mitchell's locked up for 3 more years, and then he's got a 4th year that's the player option. Evan Mobley's, on his rookie contract, so you got him for a while. You got Garland just signed an extension, so they got him for 5 years. And then Jared Allen's got, I think, 4 more years left on his contract. So you're not even worried about any of these guys going anywhere for the foreseeable future. You're right. Eventually, it could be a problem. But it's not going to be for at least – you got all these guys in the contract for at least 3 years, at least.
Well, the other thing you get is this, Boo. You have tradable pieces now.
Right.
Let's say we get into the mix and – we find out the power 4, power 5 we have. One of them not working out like I need. I see another piece over here. I'm now going to slide the one piece over here in exchange for another piece. Because the salaries are going to be in a position where they're going to be comparable to what today's market is. It's really ingenious.
I mean, they could probably use like a big wing defender type of guy, like that type of player. I don't know, I don't know who, off the top of my head who they go after.
Well, I think that one is you've lessened because I had envisioned Sexton coming off the bench, right? And I figured I would strengthen my bench like that. And so now that he's gone, I still need a bench guy, and I prefer a veteran guy. And I don't need you to do a whole bunch. I just need you to be able to score some points when I need some points. But I just think the Cavaliers have put them in a position to be in the conversation.
That's what I was going to ask you. Where does this put this, OG? Like, when you look at the Eastern Conference, obviously you got the Bucks, you got the Celtics. The Nets look like they're going to put their thing back together with Kyrie Irving. Also, the Atlanta Hawks got better as well. So where do you have the Cavs kind of fitting up in that upper echelon?
They're top 4 in the East. Donovan Mitchell's a player. I mean, a real go. So LeBron was a go-to. Let's go before LeBron, G. Who was the real go-tos around here in the last
Davis.
15? Really tough. That was no go-to. I mean, even with Price, it was Hot Rod Nance. It was spread around a little bit. Yeah, it was by platoon, right? So when you get a chance to get a go-to guy, right? Now don't be here. Donovan Mitchell got some flaws too here, right? Because he hadn't delivered when it was time to deliver either. But let's say I take Donovan Mitchell and surround him with real good players. I'm not saying that Utah had trash players, but these are some very good complementary players. If you can come in here and fit into the system, right? I think this is going to be fun to watch.
And you said one thing: people fit into the system. They got guys that know their role. right? Darius Garland has the ball. He's controlling pace. Jared Allen, all they got to do is block shots, rim run, lobs, different things like that. Mobley can actually take his time and expand his game a little bit now. We don't have to have him be a superstar today. And you got a guy that at the end of the game, you can get a ball to, and you can say, move out the way, go get a bucket, and they can't do nothing with it. I love the move. The Cavs have made themselves a contender in this town. I'm going to say that right now.
Yeah.
They're going to be
no doubt. Guys, think about it. Go ahead, Mike.
Let's say three things real quick.
Yeah.
Do you remember a couple weeks ago on the show, Brad was like, yo, we need a score. Let's get Carmelo Anthony. Let's sign Carmelo Anthony off the streets. Right. In your wildest dreams, Brad, I don't think there's a bigger upgrade as far as a pure scorer goes in their current state than wishing for Carmelo Anthony getting Donovan Mitchell. I see a bunch of comments on the side asking, hey, how are they going to play defense? Well, you could sacrifice some perimeter defense when you got Jared Allen and Evan Mobley down low. You could force them into Brad. You're 7 foot. You know how that works. When you got two big guys in the paint that can protect the rim, it takes a lot of pressure off those outside guys.
You got rim protection. You got Lopez coming off the bench here. We still need. Let's here. Okoro. All right, time to step up here. Now I will tell you because I was on a podcast, Mikey, before that I did for the Cavs for. I said this Donovan Mitchell thing. I said if you could swing it, you have to give up a lot of draft capital to get him. And just think about it, Bull. We ain't really give up that much capital. not for no guy.
I know.
In the
I mean, think about it. You now have, man. You scored 50 in the playoffs twice this year, right? And you talked about it. He's got much better talent around him. They got 6 guys. Like if you look at the three young studs they have, plus Donovan Mitchell, plus Kevin Love, and plus Karis LeVert. Those are all guys that can score 20 points on any given night. And obviously some of them can score a lot more than that. But
oh, man, this thing is great, Bull. I mean, it's great. If you just think about it, right? You think about this. You think about where the Cavs were at post LeBron to where we are now. So it speaks to the shrewd organizational skills that the Cavaliers have brought to the table. It has put this team in a position to be a contender here. Now, I still think we need a piece. Now, so Mikey, when you still talk about, I'm not shying away from my comment on
Melo.
Melo actually looking good right now. Today,
looking good right now. Because I need somebody off the bench that can give me some buckets while I rest these other guys. Because if you look at what you got on the sideline now, I mean, you got Kevin Love off the bench, right? I got to pair that with somebody else, right? Right? And then you got Rubio coming off a return, right? This thing could get solid real quick, right? Because we're not learning on the fly anymore. We got killed in the play-in because when it went down the stretch, they didn't know what to do. Nobody knew what to do. I want to ask
you a question, and then I want G. Bush to answer Brad then Bull. We'll go around the horn. I'm new to Cleveland. Is this now, with Donovan Mitchell in the fold, the most star power the city's ever had between the sports teams? When you look at Jose Ramirez and Shane Bieber with the Guardians, you look at Deshaun Watson, Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb, all the other Denzel Ward, the high-profile stars.
Stop it, Mikey. I'm going to cut you off. We had LeBron James. Are you out of your mind?
But that's one guy. I'm saying overall.
We had LeBron James.
Overall, McNuggets, yes, I'll say yes. Here's why.
I'll say no because you had LeBron, Kyrie, and Kevin Love.
But here's the thing: when you talk about overall, I'm gonna say this: the Guardians are first place. You got Bieber, you got Jose Ramirez. When you take a look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, Darius Garland is already in the streets. His name is already up there.
It's the best total talent, but not star power.
Mobley, he's going to be the real deal. Yeah. You got to think about it. If you mention guys' names in terms of football, when you say Nick Chubb, when you say Deshaun Watson, when you say Myles Garrett, they got big time names over at the Brown Stadium down at Community Lot. I'm saying collectively, I think it might be the best time to be alive as a Browns, Cavs, Guardians fan.
Well, there's no question about it, G. And I will tell you this, G. You think about it. The great thing about it now is you got the 3 professional franchises here in competition with each other. Oh, you gonna sign him? Oh, I can't let you get on the market now. I gotta sign some people here too because the expectation level around town has been raised. The Browns raised it, right? The Cavaliers just upped the ante. And guess who's going to up the ante this postseason? The Guardians going to have to up the ante here, right? Because all right, we got to the playoffs. Right. Now you want to get better, but that's what you want to see. Now we're going to see, because Bull's question has always been this: can this town support 3 professional franchises playing at a high level?
Yeah, we talk about that a lot.
Can we go NYC here?
Yeah.
This is I don't believe it's the biggest combined star power, but I don't think that matters. I do think it's by far the best combined teams. Like the Cavs, I agree with what Brad said before. I think the Cavs are likely a top 4 team in the East now. Obviously the Browns are not a top 4 team in the AFC right now, but I think they will be when they have Deshaun Watson, certainly by next year. And I think the Guardians are one of the top 4 teams in the American League. And here's the thing, guys. The arrow is pointing up on all 3 teams, so they're just going to get better. Again, you never know. But right now, it seems like all 3 teams are good. And, by the 23 baseball season, the 23 football season, and the 22-23 basketball season, all 3 teams should be even better.
And I got to throw this in. When you talk about electric atmospheres, when you get to Rocket Mortgage, when it's big-time games, you can't hear nothing. The fans at Rocket Mortgage, when this team has been good, is electric. There's no debating. So when you talk about that added to what this young team and the young energy that they got, they play the game the right way. They love each other. They got the camaraderie going. But I'm gonna tell you what, this is gonna be one of the most difficult places to play. And somebody put it up on the side. I'm looking forward to playing the Warriors all of a sudden again.
Oh yeah,
I'm looking forward to some of them Warrior games. We need to get that back going. Let's go now.
So, by the way, guys, there's been got some updates. 2 updates here. Number 1, Utah just signed Colin Sexton to a 4-year, $72 million deal.
That's 18 per. So that's less than he was. That's what he was looking for here.
Yeah, and one other thing, the Cavs do still have their first-round pick for the next 2 years in 2023 and 2024. The first-round picks they're giving up are unprotected are 25, 27, and 29. And then the pick swaps are in 26 and 28. So for what it's worth, they will still have their next. Although I think don't they lose their first round pick next year or something in another deal? So that's why it is. Okay.
Yeah, I would tell you this. I still like to see the Cavs sign a replacement for marketing at the 3, a solid guy at the 3, right, to give them some help. And then, but I would just tell you this: you knew here as a person who's been in the business. When they did not offer Colin Sexton a long-term big money deal, then I knew it was like everything's in the air now. Like we shopping around here, right? We shopping for groceries here because I don't want to give you what you think you should get, and I think there's better stuff out here. And nothing against you. And that's what I was saying in the podcast, but early to people. It's nothing against Colin Sexton. This is how this business works. If you do not do it on a consistent basis, then they're going to shop for groceries elsewhere. And I wouldn't get mad at it, right? And so he didn't want to be here. He didn't want to take the role that they wanted because I think the role they wanted for him was off the bench. And he didn't want that role. He wanted more money. Okay, well, now you got more money. You're just in Salt Lake now. Okay, that's where you are.
And so when you look at this, I'm looking at it as a totality. I forgot about mentioning the Sixers. The Sixers are I would put it as one of those teams that they better do something quickly or that'll be derailing. I've seen, James Harden looks better. I think he's lost a lot of weight.
The Nets got a lot of talent, we know, but who knows if they'll stay healthy and put it together.
Right now, I keep looking at this team, and it's a coin flip. If you told me to put us in a series with some of those other teams, I don't foresee the Cavs coming out on the short end too many times. I think they can fight and claw in a 7-game series, and it all depends on who has home court. And right now, we got a guy who in the game 7, hey, he can get it done. I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Hey, Brad, could you give us a little insight on how you think Garland and Mitchell fit together in the backcourt?
I think I like the pairing. Let me tell you why I like the pairing, because Garland can defer. He can also, you can't have one go-to guy. You can swap the thing off. I don't need Donovan Mitchell to go for 50 every night or 40 every night. The thing he was doing out of Utah, it was a sideshow. I don't need the sideshow. I just need you to be good, right? And then guess what? I got other good players here too. You don't have to do all the work here, but I tell you what I do need from you And this is what Garland had to learn, because down the stretch, when they turned up the ante on him, he did not know what to do, right? And the only way you know what to do is because you have learned it and you're around other people. Now, I guarantee you this. Donovan Mitchell understands what to do. And if things get hairy, if you watch Utah play, they put the ball in his hand to make plays. They say, go ahead, we're going to clear the side for you. You got to make a play. You got to have people like that, right? That's how you become dangerous, right? Because the playoff basketballs are different than the regular season, Mikey. It is real. It's truncated. It's like basic basketball. Can I beat you on a nightly basis for 4 out of 7 games? Can I do that? And you need people to be able to get it done. And I'm not saying this here. I'm not saying that other people won't be, because I see some of the comments here like, nobody being scared of the Cavaliers. That's not the question, right? The question is, you got to be tooled up here. And the only way you get tooled up is by making sure that you got the most prolific people at all the spots that you need to fill. And we just
let me run this by you. I pulled up the list of free agents at small forward. Did any of these guys tempt you? First guy, Nicholas Batum. He's 33. Excuse me. Last played for the Clippers. Solid dude, can shoot.
Can he play any defense at this point?
He's not bad.
He's not bad. Yeah. He ain't bad. He had bad off a bench rotation, Bull, and he's just a solid guy.
Kyle Anderson, last played for Memphis. Don't like him. Otto Porter Jr. last played for Golden State.
Hey, G. Bush.
Play hard.
Is it real quick? Hey, they're tied up in cap space now. So whoever they bring in, if they bring in,
it's got to be
have to sign for a very, very low.
Guys,
Otto Porter's not coming in for a minimum contract.
Let me jump in here for a second. First of all, shout out to all. We got a ton of people watching us right now, so shout out to all of them. We put this together real quick when we heard the news. And shout out to everybody watching us right now. We really appreciate it. We know you love the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Tomorrow we obviously have our special Ohio State show. We will talk about this trade a little more tomorrow in the beginning, and then we're going to stick with our Ohio State show because we got a bunch of plans for that already. But we will talk about this trade a little bit in the beginning of the show. I see some people like complaining, they should have made this kind of trade for a small forward. Like, don't get crazy now. Donovan Mitchell is a top 20 NBA player. Okay, it'd be great if he were a few inches taller, but maybe he wouldn't be as good at some of the things he's great at if he were a little taller. I don't know. He's a great player. And in this NBA, if you have 4 all-star caliber players, which clearly the Cavs do, and you have a smart coach, which I believe clearly the Cavs do, you can win a lot of games. A smart coach can take a player, 2 players that maybe you wouldn't think would be perfect fits together and find a way to do it. I believe in our coach. Major kudos to Kobe Altman, who I crushed years ago. I was totally wrong. He's done a brilliant job turning a post-LeBron regime roster from nothing to one of the most competitive teams. Now, they got to prove it. We know that. They haven't won a playoff game without LeBron in forever. And there are some, we just went through the list. There are some really tough teams in the East. It won't be easy. But this team is right there. I think they can be competitive with anybody in the conference.
Hey, Bull, I had a conversation with Kobe Altman last year. This was in the hallway by the locker room afterwards. We were just talking. I told him, I see what you're doing. You're doing an outstanding job here. I see exactly what you picked up and what moves you have made to put this team in place to be successful going forward. And we had a nice long talk. He understands the game here. He knew exactly what he needed, right? And I said, when I sit up here, we did not have a go-to guy down the stretch, a proven go-to guy. We got an couple up-and-comers, but not a proven guy down the stretch. Now we still got to fill some holes and get to your point, Mikey, on the minimum deal. That's why Carmelo looks attractive. Cause not gonna pay him.
Right.
He can get the veteran minimum here. Yes, he can. Because nobody's paying Carmelo anymore.
He'll get that veteran deal. And I'll tell you what, just to put it in perspective, Bull said it a little bit earlier. Take a look at what Donovan Mitchell has done over his career. And look at the points per game, right? And it's just not about the points. It's about how he gets those points. Tough difficulty, can get to the rim, can shoot the 3. Last year, he averaged 25.9 points, so 26. He gave you 26 last year. He gave you 26 the year before. And almost got the Utah Jazz to an NBA Finals, and had one of the best records in the league. So this guy can give you about 5 assists. He's still going to give you about a steal a game. But the thing about it is he's going to do it on high field goal percentage, shooting over 50% from the field. So he's a dude that the Cavs can throw the ball to, get a bucket, but also can do some other things as well.
Great free throw shooter as well. By the way, did you guys see the tweet from LeBron?
He's excited.
So I don't know who tweeted it. The original tweet was from Cuffs the Legend. I don't know who that is, but they're verified. They got a million. Anyway, their tweet said, the Cavs were already fun to watch last season. They have all the pieces to contend now. Garland plus Spida is tough. And LeBron James responded in all caps, so tough, with 5 exclamation points, followed by super dope.
Hey, man, you should have signed that deal, LeBron.
Come on, LeBron.
You should have waited that extension out, fam. We need a small forward.
Can you imagine if LeBron were on this roster, if you just plunked LeBron into this roster?
Oh, my God.
We're gonna bring Jason on in a sec, so one of us is gonna have to drop. But no, you don't have to go yet. He's not ready. So I want to ask you this question first. Yeah. The Cavs just pushed all their chips on the table. They went all in on Donovan Mitchell and this nucleus of a roster for the next few years. In a vacuum, yes, it's awesome. But let's just play hypothetical. Is Donovan Mitchell the guy you would have pushed all your chips in for?
Well, yeah, because you don't get him that often.
Who else you gonna get, Mikey?
Yeah, that's it.
I'm just throwing the question.
All of them.
I agree.
You tell me what all-stars were available, because they kept talking about Durant was available. Durant wasn't available. He wasn't going nowhere.
I'm not saying right now. I'm just saying, like, if you wait, these guys get upset, they move teams. Was this the right move?
We have to live in the here and now. I mean, we're knocking on. When the window is open in sports, you got to come through, right? You ain't got. I can't. I don't have. That's why I didn't fault the Browns for making a move. They felt like they were there. They had to get a player to get them over the hump, right?
This is the Deshaun Watson move, but basketball with no baggage, right?
Right.
Like Deshaun Watson was there. They don't come available. This guy is a top 20 player. They don't come available. Make the move, and you live with what you live with.
And Bull, let me tell you this. In this town here, and Bull, you'll know this. You know what they used to get criticized in this town for? Not pulling the trigger when it's time to pull the trigger.
That's right.
Right?
That's true.
What people used to, they used to get
Be
criticized
aggressive
in this town because they're never aggressive. They're like, the guy got a parking ticket over here, so we can't go get him. Right? Nah, we're going to get you this time.
I love it. I love the aggressiveness. I love the aggressiveness. I don't care about the draft picks. And by the way, like you say, Mikey, first of all, you say, well, what if another star demands a trade? It's not like the stars that are demanding trades, they don't usually want to come to Cleveland. For Donovan Mitchell, he's been in Utah. Cleveland's the best place on earth. He's got to be excited.
I was just asking a question. I'm making the move 100 out of 100 times.
I mean, unless you're telling me you're getting Durant or Luka Doncic, I mean, there's only like 10, 12 guys I'd rather have.
Man, I just thought of something real quick. Wasn't when they were changing the name from the Indians to the Guardians? Wasn't the Spiders one of the options?
Well, there was a Cleveland Spiders baseball team 100 years ago that stunk in the American League.
Cleveland got a Spider now, so there you go.
And this set. By the way, I think of it like this, man. This sets you up like. By the way, Cleveland, you back on Christmas. You back on the Christmas schedule.
Well, not this year.
In the Knicks or something.
Yeah.
Listen,
Kobe, go call Carmelo. We need Melo.
Hey, Melo will look great. He look great on this team. All you need is a dude to come in and shoot, and just come in and give you 10, 15.
He just want a ball. That's all he want to do. He want to up a ball. That's all he just want a ball.
You look great on this team. I'm gonna be in the Knicks. Right. And don't start hating on him either. Oh my! Like don't start getting your storylines for 5 years. I don't want Melo to mess this team up. There's so much camaraderie, G. But stop it already. You already starting. Starting.
Here, Melo has seen the light since they hung him out to dry for a couple years. They wouldn't let him back in the league. He's been a model citizen since he's come back. Right.
Hey, these December games.
Hey guys.
Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We gotta get something at the Q or Rocket Mortgage. I gotta be at these games too.
Hey guys, let me throw a crazy name at you. For the Cavs to sign, like this guy can't. He's not an offensive player at all. But I was thinking like we need a wing defender, a guy that is a great wing defender. What's that?
Tony Allen, bring him out of retirement.
No, a guy that is broke. A guy that we've rooted against quite a bit. Andre Iguodala.
What you mean? Is he
He's old. He's too old. He's old.
But he can still play defense.
No. Only problem
he didn't play in the finals. He did not get a single minute in the finals because he got torched.
All right.
No way.
You got a lot of miles on those tires.
Good thought.
I'm trying to think outside the box here.
Yeah,
We need a wing defender.
I agree.
Mix.
Hey, Brad, that's a good question.
Yeah.
We now have Mitchell. We have Garland. We got the scoring. Offensively, the starting five is locked in. If you could see this team make one more move, you mentioned Melo. Is a scoring wing, in your opinion, their biggest need?
Not defense?
Well, I think that you got to get a little solid on the wing defenses because you got to figure out you got Durant coming your way, you got the Boston boys coming your way, you got enough guys coming your way, so you got to solidify that a little bit more. And then I will tell you this: you got to have scoring off the bench because you just can't rely on strictly love off the bench, right? Because what you saw last year is not going to happen again this year, right? Because now everybody knows you're coming, right? So you got to do something different, right? And then in this game, this is shock value here, right? Sometimes it's just walk out with guys who have been branded in this league like that's a player, right? You're going to draw down some respect here. The one thing I would just tell you is this: isn't it fun to be in the mix? It's just great to be in the mix, right?
Just be around the party.
They're like, I'm right here. Like we got a team here. So we're gonna transition Bull from the Guardians to the Browns.
Yep.
To the Cavaliers. And we shouldn't miss a beat here.
October's supposed to be fun. October's supposed to be fun with the Guardians. They may make the playoffs. We talking about what we doing. Somebody just hit me up saying you're gonna be doing the Cavs. What y'all doing with the Cavs this year? I said, I don't know. Browns is crazy, but look at what the schedule is setting up. October, that's when the Cavs are supposed to be starting to light back up, and then hopefully, November we got something to look forward to by the time Deshaun Watson keeps going. So if you in Cleveland, it's a place to be, man.
Hey, we got Jason on the line. Does anyone want to hop off for 1 second while we get Jason in? G. Bush, don't go anywhere. We'll bring you back in a sec. But we're gonna bring Jason in. Hold on, guys. Jason Lloyd of
there he is. Look in the car.
Live from his new Beamer.
Jason, how do you have 4% on your phone, man? You're a professional. You should have your phone charged at all times.
I had my kid pediatrician when all this.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we got a bad connection.
You got me?
No,
you're breaking up.
Does he sound good to you guys? Or
No. He's breaking up bad.
Say something again, Jason.
Well, now you got
Nope.
me?
That's a little better.
Steal the wireless. I'm trying to see if I can steal the wireless.
Hey, go off your own mobile plan, buddy.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
You got
Jason,
Jason,
we got you now. We can't see you, but we can hear you, so that's fine. What was your first reaction when you heard this, Jason? I mean, this is what a move. Came out of left field.
Wi-Fi. Because I just did a mailbag where this came up as a question, and I said if they'll take picking, but I didn't get them for just picks. I thought they'd have
Jason. Nope.
I think we'd have to.
Yeah, Jason,
unfortunately, you're breaking up.
We love you. I can't hear you, man. When you get better service, we'll bring you back in. Also, to the 883 people on the chat right now, hey, we're the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We are not just a Browns show. We are not just a Buckeye show. We talk all things Cleveland. And if you are new and don't know what we do, you'd be silly not to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are daily, Monday through Friday, 11:01, talking about everything that matters in the Cleveland sports realm, including the fact that the Cavaliers are now legitimate contenders in the Eastern Conference. Just search us on YouTube at Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. You are silly if you are not.
Mike, this is bonus coverage.
How many people get their hosts up out of bed, whatever you doing, put the bat signal out, and they on with instant content?
I mean, I'll be honest, guys. I'm in my underwear right now. I'm in my boxers.
I got no bottoms on. Bottoms.
Just so people know, Brad's the mayor. I don't know, Brad, are you in the mayor's office right now?
No, he's home.
He's at the crib. You don't see them plush white cabinets back there?
Listen, I've never been to Warren, so I'm not quite sure what the mayor's office looks like. I was driving home. I'm in my apartment. We will come back and do this. We're going to do a live post-game show after the Buckeyes game Saturday night. We're going to do a live post-game show after each Browns game moving forward. So this is the move of the future. The Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show is the move of the future. We got 10 minutes left, guys. We'll try to get Jason back on.
Over 3,000 people have watched this so far. We've been on for almost 40 minutes, and this was so obviously impromptu because what's amazing is this trade this came out of nowhere. There was
nowhere.
I don't remember a single legitimate rumor about Donovan Mitchell to the Cavs. Not like it's been the Knicks. People have been talking about the Knicks for a while, and like just all of a sudden, all our phones blow up. We start texting each other. It's just crazy.
Well,
can I read you, Brad, real quick? Let me
right.
read you a tweet because this has to do with you. Back on August 24th, Devin Ribley, who sent us a jingle, tweeted at me on a day you were on, Brad, and goes, at Ultimate Cleveland Sports, at my Lucas TV, can you ask Brad how close the Cavs are to trading for Donovan Mitchell? I responded, said, I'll answer that question for you. No chance. Asking price is way too high. He just responded to me a second ago and says, I'm glad we can all laugh about this now. So, Devin, I do apologize. And, Brad, what about Donovan Mitchell? There you go, Devin. I got you.
Well, here, so the thing is that the asking price was high, right? Let me tell you something. Utah was about stacking those picks, right? Not so much the players. So you see what they extracted from Minnesota. So they were looking to extract that again. So they got their picks, which is down because they're playing a longer game. Utah is a different market; it plays a longer game. And with that being said, they are now in a position where that they feel like they're satisfied. So they picked up a score because they say, okay, I'm giving up a score for quasi another score. Maybe not the same guy I had, but I've got somebody, right? And so I think their thing long term was the picks. For us, we blossomed well before I thought the time for us to blossom. Last year was like blew everybody away. Like, what are we doing? Why are we even here? We never saw that happen. So now our draft capital and our thinking had to change because we're like, wait a minute, I'm knocking on the door here. I need a player. Yeah. And they just got a player.
Guardians was 3 years too early. These guys is 2 years too early.
Hey, guys.
And it's crazy.
Sorry, G. I just got this, and I think you guys are going to want to hear this. You're going to love this. This from my buddy Jimmy Shapiro at betonline.ag. So the Donovan Mitchell trade impact in Vegas. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm. Let's hear it.
The Cavaliers this morning were 125-1 to win the NBA title. 125-1. Take a guess where they are now after the trade.
25-1.
G?
50.
Brad Sellers, you nailed it exactly. 25-1. They went from 120. They were the 21st choice to win the title. Now they're the 12th choice.
Mm-hmm.
From 125 to 101, they went from 60-1 to win the East to 12-1. They're now the sixth favorite in the East as of now.
That's crazy. They're still the sixth favorite in the East.
The East tough.
Well, I mean, they've never, these other teams have at least won playoff series before, so that's why they got to prove it. The Cavs their win total in Vegas went from 43.5 to 46.5. The rest is about the Jazz. We don't care about that. But, from 125-1 to 25-1, yeah, I think it was worth it to trading for Donovan Mitchell.
Mm-hmm. And we just broke 1,000 live watchers right now.
Here we go.
Shout out to you guys.
Let's go, baby. Let's go, Cleveland.
You guys out there, please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. It's a small thing for you, but it's big for us. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in.
There's some D-bag on the message board here. His name is Tempe1D. He says, I'm happy, but these guys act as if they just got prime LeBron and the Cavs have won championships for the last 20-plus years. Pump your brakes. You're Cleveland. Go drink a pop and stay in 1960. Hey, Tempe, no need to be a big D-bag. People are excited. I mean, you're some anonymous loser on Twitter or whatever.
Who's his team? Who's your team? Who's your team?
Exactly.
Who you like?
Who are
you?
You
on the Cleveland blog. You might as well come on in.
You're an egg on Twitter. You're a freaking egg. Go back in your hole, buddy.
Hey, listen, we're going to keep celebrating. He a mad Jazz fan. Hey, they got 96 first-round picks. They doing their thing.
Why don't you go to Arizona and listen to some music because you can't listen to Utah, you punk.
Let me just say this. I think you can be happy. You can be happy for everybody. The Cavs just made a major move here. If you've been around this town as long as I have, they've come few and far between in this town. They have, right? That's a major move. You picked up a legitimate all-star in their prime.
Yep.
It's a rarity in this town.
20. What is he? 20. He's 25, I think, guys.
Yeah, he's younger than Tyvis.
25. He's about to turn 26. He'll turn 26 in 6 days.
I'll throw this out there. Throw this out to the chat too. If you just because of this trade, will you go see a Cavs game this year and get tickets? I'll put a 1 in the chat if you're going to do it. 2 if you know. 1, if you're going to go to a game you hadn't planned on going to. 2, no. I should see a bunch of 1s in the chat right now.
And G, to your point, like I was already like interested in the Cavs and excited about the Cavs, and I would already have gone. But this takes it to another level to me.
Yeah.
On any given night now, when you go to watch a Cavs game, you're gonna see, at minimum, 2 of the top 30, 35 players in the NBA, possibly with Evan Mobley's emergence as an elite player. 3 of the top 35 players on your own team, plus whoever's in the arena on the next. And they're all, like you said, Bull, about to be 26. I love the ones, dude. You just my feed's going buck wild on the right.
I know. Well, I'm also laughing because somebody sent a message.
You said we like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, G and I are Winnie the Pooh because we got no pants on. Mikey said, "Hey, can you guys come out in 2 minutes?" And I'm like laying around in my boxers. I'm like, "Sure, I'll I got my ready to go."
I don't got a real job or nothing. I just be hanging around, looking around.
I was driving home and I said, "Hey, who could get on in 2 minutes?" And we had 4 people answer, and Jason was taking his kids. That's the commitment that UCSS brings to the people. So
that's right.
It is.
Man, this is exciting. This is a lot of fun. I'm pumped, and the fans should be really excited.
All jokes aside, though, Brad, I think you hit it on it. Hit the nail on the head. For a long period of time, Cleveland was known as a place you couldn't go. Cleveland was a place nobody wanted to be there. You had to pull teeth. Cleveland are making the moves we never thought they would. They're doing the things that we never thought that they would be doing. They're not playing it conservative. They're going for it. And I'll tell you what, that's all you can ask for as a fan, is that your team is putting yourself in a position to go for it. And they're going for it, and I'm happy for them. And shout out to Dan Gilbert, because at the end of the day, he just keeps paying the bag.
Well, and take this, G. So you have to think back to the moves Dan Gilbert made and the organization made to get LeBron to come back here, and the people that joined us on our journeys to those 4 championship series that we played in, right? So we built up a cachet out here, right? So people now, before, were a little afraid to say, the Cleveland thing, I don't know about this Cleveland thing. And so we showed that we are, if it's done right, it's a place that you can go to, right? Now, Donovan Mitchell didn't have a say in this. They made the move and made it happen, but I will tell you what, it will send reverberations around the rest of the league and say, wait a minute now, because there are many people out there that just want to win. They want to have an opportunity to win something.
Yeah. Course.
Right. And they're like, this is a young team here that needs some leadership, and I got a chance to win. And just think about the nucleus. They're all young.
Good guy. Good young guy.
Yeah. Hey, Donovan Mitchell is the oldest of their 4 best players, and he's just turning 26 this week. I mean, that's,
and he's under contract. Do you guys remember on the show when Bull popped a blood vessel in his eye, screaming about DeJounte Murray?
Right.
Listen,
what do you think would have happened if this happened on the air today and Bull was just...
Oh, my God. I was so excited. I would have gone bananas. I mean, I've already gone bananas, but... Yeah, I mean, I love DeJounte Murray, but Donovan Mitchell's even better, and I would have been thrilled to get DeJounte Murray, and it's a whole nother level. I mean, the Cavs, again, listen, the East is very competitive. You know, the Cavs are not like making I'm not saying the Cavs are going to the finals. They might. I think they have a chance, but they got to prove they can win some playoff games first. And the top of the East is very competitive. But what this does, just like we said with Deshaun Watson didn't guarantee the Browns a trip to the Super Bowl because the AFC is loaded. But it put them in the game and gave them a chance. And that's exactly what's happened here. This doesn't make the Cavs the favorites in the East, but it puts them right there with the other good teams in the East. And once they get some playoff experience, gives them a chance. There's no doubt. I mean, I think, talent-wise, well, not experience-wise yet, but talent-wise, I think they're right there with any team in the East, guys.
Hey, ESPN, get ready to come on down. Stephen A., I know you don't want to you don't want to leave Miami. You don't want to leave the friendly confine. You might as well get ready to come on up here, because I'll tell you what, we got some national TV games, and talk about the AFC in the NFL. Hey, but I'm not going to lie. The East is tough. The East is a bad conference, boy.
Oh, yeah.
It's loaded. We forgot all about the Celtics and the Sixers, the Raptors.
Yep.
They made the playoffs last year. The Heat. We forgot about those guys. These guys are tough teams, and the Cavs are in a scrap. But all you ask for is to be in it and get in the playoffs and duke it out. So I think they got some firepower. Excited, man.
Hey, look at the message from DeMarie Owens on the bottom right now. Bo, we'll start with you. Is this the best backcourt in the NBA right now?
I got to go Curry and Clay, no?
Coming off injury, Clay was...
I think Clay a little diminished.
Yeah, but I mean, Curry's a Hall of Famer. I mean, I think it's probably second behind Curry and Clay. No, am I forgetting?
It's probably the best young backcourt.
No, no doubt. Yeah.
No doubt.
I still, you got it. You can't. I know Clay's coming back from injury, but I got to give them their props. They're multiple-time champs. The Cavs guys haven't won anything. Donovan Mitchell hasn't won anything in the playoffs. So I got to put them one, but I'll put the Cavs two.
DeRozan and Levine ain't bad. That's tough.
Yeah, that's really good too.
DeRozan played the power forward most of last year, though.
What about Chris Paul and Booker?
Paul and Booker's about there too, yeah.
Middleton and the other guy. What's it? Middleton and who? What's his name? Drew Holiday is nice too. I mean, it's tough. Yeah. It's very tough.
The best young backcourt with less miles on it.
Yeah,
right.
And
this should be fun to watch.
Next question.
This should be fun to watch.
Who won the trade?
Of course, it was
Danny Ainge is playing a longer. This is a different game, Mikey.
I think they both.
Danny Ainge is playing.
It's a good trade for both.
Danny Ainge is playing a long-term game. He's doing what the Celtics used to do: stockpile, and then when you look up, they're gonna hit the roulette wheel, and next thing you know, they're gonna win all on black. Boom, 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 boom. Here's the story. That's what the Celtics used to do.
Hey,
right? And that's the game he's playing.
They did it this time. I mean, you look what the Celtics ended up with. You know, they didn't get everybody. Kyrie kind of rolled out after they rolled the dice to get them all together. But you still got Brown and Tatum, and those are the two pieces that got you to the finals. And you can hope they can still progress and continue to make it happen. But that's what Danny Ainge does.
Yeah, but you can't call it.
If they had a good Kyrie Irving that was in his right space, along with those other two. That'd have been all the difference they needed.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's no way you can't call the Jazz winners. Just they got draft picks. The players they got are not. No,
you won't. That won't materialize to the end. You won't.
Yeah, we won't know
to these cards
but
play themselves
if
out.
the Cavs are like a perennial playoff team for the next 5-6 years, then how good are those draft picks going to be?
I don't care nothing about picks. You already know me.
I couldn't care less about draft picks.
I don't care nothing about picks.
Well, they're in a market where they're a limited media market, right? They can't sustain it for long periods of time, so they can't not do that, right? They didn't let Gobert and them go for no reason. They're like, listen, we can't sustain this the way this is going, so we have to do it another way in Salt Lake. We cannot do it like they do it in Los Angeles or Philadelphia or New York. It's just not that type of market.
Now here's the thing. I'll ask you guys this question. Can Donovan Mitchell be the best player on a championship team? Because once you start getting down to the nitty-gritty, you start talking about, do they need him to be the guy, or do they need somebody else to step that up?
Can I start this one?
Go ahead.
The answer is no, but the Cavs don't need him to be, because Evan Mobley will be that player in a year or two for them when they're ready to make that run. You look at the last 20 years of NBA basketball, the Warriors are the only team with the real scoring guard that's won a championship as their lead predominant player.
As their lead player.
As like their lead
as the
guy.
Best player, the best player on the team.
It's always either a scoring wing or a big man, and I think Mobley has potential through the roof. I really think he's next to Tim Duncan. We had that talk in the show. I think he's that good, and he's the perfect complement as a guy who doesn't need the ball 50 times in a game to score his points. He does his work, with offensive rebounding, setting screens, rolling, being efficient and smart, and on the defensive end, he's so good that I think those two are a perfect compliment. So I would say Mobley's the best player on the team.
What was your comment about you can't win with a scoring guard? What are you talking about?
The only team in the last 20 years to win an NBA championship with their number one player being a small scoring guard was Steph Curry and the Warriors.
Yeah, but they won a lot of championships that way.
But they have like the best team of all time. It's an anomaly to have
I don't buy.
Do you don't think they have one of the best teams of all time, Brad?
Yeah.
You're kidding me, right?
They're not one of the best teams of all time.
They might be one of the best. You said they were the best.
Oh, I thought I said one of the best.
They're not the best.
Yeah, I don't buy that you can't win that way. I think you can win with Donovan Mitchell as your best player. How many teams have won with a center as their best player?
Duncan, Shaq.
Elijah
that was a long time ago. Duncan and Shaq
virtually plays the center right now. The Bucks won 2 years ago. Yeah,
LeBron.
Big men and scoring wings are the predominant.
No, but LeBron's not a center.
He's a scoring wing.
Big as hell.
No, but you didn't say scoring wing. You said a center. I mean, Evan Mobley. Yeah, well, I think you could. I don't know. I think in this NFL you could win different ways, and I think they can win with Donovan Mitchell as their best player. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Usually, the best player on a championship team is like a top 5 or 10 player in the league, and Donovan Mitchell's probably just below that.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's in that next 10. So that's going to be the tricky part. But what the Cavs have that not a lot of teams have is they got 4 like top 30 players.
Yeah.
Top 35 maybe, 40 at the lowest.
And it's more along. I think the way they're built is a little bit more along the way that the Warriors are built, because they got guys like Draymond, who knows his role. Clay, he's very good at what his role is. Andre Iguodala was a guy who knew exactly what his role was. And you had, Durant. When they got him, it was overkill. But needless to say, Steph has always been maybe a top 5 player, but sometimes the rest of them past 10. Clay's never been a top 10 player. Dre's never been a top 10 player. So the Cavs can build it
Durant
a little bit different.
Obviously Durant was when they won.
Obviously Durant was. That was overkill.
Yeah.
But I think if Mobley gets better, as Mobley gets better and starts moving up and adding more pieces to his game, I think the Cavs can win with Donovan Mitchell being who Donovan Mitchell is.
Yeah. And to your point, though, Mike, you're right. I mean, there's a good chance Evan Mobley does become their best player over the next few years. And if that happens, like if he becomes a top 10 player, then forget about it. If that happens over the next couple of years, if he's that good, then there's no limit to how good the Cavs can be.
It's the thing with Kawhi Leonard did that for the Spurs. All of a sudden, we all knew Parker, Ginobili, Duncan, and then it was like, hold on, who's this dude that's locking up everybody and getting buckets too? And that's what made the Spurs like to the next level, because they developed that guy.
Brad, you got to run? He texted me, said you got to run.
Yeah. I just want to jump in with you guys.
Yeah, great stuff, Brad.
And good takes. And listen, it's like Deshaun Watson. We didn't see it coming, right?
Yeah, it really is.
See it coming.
It really is.
Right.
All right, Brad.
Get your tickets ready.
We'll see you
tomorrow. Get your tickets ready.
All right, fam.
All right,
Brad.
now.
Hey, Jason.
You bringing Tyvis back in, or Jason? Or
Jason said he's going to hop in a sec. As soon as Jason's ready, we'll get Jason on, then we'll wrap it up here. But, Bull, just to go back to my comment, the last 20 champions in the NBA. Yeah. So you got, and I'm reading off the list. 2022 is the Warriors. You had Steph.
Yeah.
21, you got Giannis and the Bucks. Giannis, a big man.
Yeah.
2020 Lakers, scoring wing LeBron. 19 Raptors, scoring wing.
Kawhi Leonard. I hear you. I thought you were saying center specific. Like, I forget it.
No.
Yeah, bigs, right? Bigs.
Yeah. But you need a little point guard in modern day basketball. The only one to win a championship is the primary player with Steph Curry.
And
that's
then
fair.
You can go back to the Pistons with Isaiah Thomas. That's
a while ago.
That's a while ago.
Yeah, I mean, right. It's not, the trend says you can't really win that way. But I think ultimately, like, who could you have gotten that was better than Donovan Mitchell? I just don't think there was a player they could have gotten better than him. So
you say it best, Bull. You always talk about this fan base and some of these teams being scared, right? And you could have waited. And today's NBA superstar more than they ever have in the history of the league.
Right.
But there's no guarantee that the next superstar, like you said, would have wanted to come to Cleveland. And frankly, there's no guarantee the next superstar, which we use the word superstar pretty loosely now. Like, I think Donovan is really good. I don't know if he's a superstar. I think that's kind of reserved.
I'd say he's a star, but not a superstar, right?
I think there's a tier, that top 1 and 2 tiers. I think those are superstars. And then I think Mitchell's a tier 3, tier 4 guy. But there's no guarantee that next quote unquote star is better than Donovan Mitchell. There's 18 guys in the league, 17, 15 guys in the league better than Donovan Mitchell. And they don't move very often. So when you get a chance to do it without giving up your 3 best players, they kept Mobley, Allen, and Garland. God,
right.
In my opinion, they couldn't have executed this any better. And as Les Snead said, F them picks, man.
The picks ain't gonna do nothing. And I'll give once again. Because I was on the cards open. I said 2 of the worst takes ever. I said Darius Garland was a JV basketball player that was last year, before last year. And I'd say Kobe Altman, I have no clue what you're doing, right? This dude, I don't know
Jason.
what happened.
Hold on. We got Jason. Let's bring our boy Jason in here. A bird just flew into my window. Did y'all hear that?
What?
So I'm sitting. I'm
like crashed into your window,
smashed into my window. Did you not hear that pop?
Whoa! I did
that
not.
Was awesome.
Hey, look at Jason.
What's up, Jason?
I got some internet.
Oh, you jinxed it.
He gonna get on the phone and cuss his internet provider all the way out.
That's what happens when you live in the boonies.
He gonna be mad.
Let's just talk. I can't hear Jason. Can you guys hear him
at all?
No, he's like very choppy, and
he's
I see. Oh wait. Now he unchopped for a second. Jason,
Mike,
we can't hear him.
On, Jason, Mike's not on.
Rookies.
Jason.
Well,
he's like,
Jason lives in.
I can't believe we've been on for an hour.
I know.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, no, not that.
I know.
Are we getting paid? Are we getting paid double today?
Probably
Steve, listen, I better get an extra for this.
Come on, guys. We get paid double today. Jason, he's a disaster over there. What is happening?
Is that the
There's
work
a lot
order?
of wires on that computer.
That's the work
Jason.
order for his internet.
Well, here, let's set Jason up with this. Bo, will you go over the details one more time? For anyone who's just joining us, we're part of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show crew. If you don't like us, subscribe. We're on every Monday through Friday, 11 to 1, talking all things Cleveland, Ohio State. We are the #1 opinion show in the great city of Cleveland. I moved here in April, and since then, all the big-name NFL and NBA players have followed me. We've lost Jason completely. We got Jason's wires back.
Yes. All right, here's all the details, guys. The Cavs are acquiring Donovan Mitchell, who has 3 years and a fourth-year player option on his deal. In return, the Utah Jazz get Colin Sexton, who signs a 4-year, $70-something million contract. Larry Markkinen and Agbaji, who's the first name I can't pronounce, who they just got in the draft. Ochai. And Markkinen, they also go with Colin Sexton to Utah in the deal. Also, the Cavaliers will give up a 2024. No, I was wrong about that. 2025, 2027, 2029 first-round picks, unprotected, and the Jazz will have the right to swap 2026 and 2028 first-round picks. So they gave up a lot in theory, but to me, well worth it to get one of the top 20 players in the league.
And G. Bush, before you hop in, I've seen this a bunch of times. It would have been a good trade minus Agbaji. Hey, for the record, if the Jazz would have took Okoro, they would have traded Okoro. You have to give up something to get a great player, and I think Agbaji, if he's the collateral damage in this whole move, the Cavs made out like bandits. So just want to throw that out there for everybody. It's the fourth or fifth time I've seen that comment in the chat, and it's worth noting that
people are obsessed in this town. We're obsessed with rookies. We're obsessed with rookies. I'm sure
they would have kept him. Jason, can you hear us? Can we hear you this time? All right, Jason. Hey, it was a valiant effort. We're gonna wrap up here in a second.
Let's wrap it.
Jason, we love you. We'll try to get you on the show
That's
tomorrow.
Too bad.
We'll have Jason call in early. How about that, guys?
Yeah,
we'll do that.
One last chance? No.
Any party thoughts here, Bo? Last thing before we wrap.
My final thought is I'm really excited. You know, there's no guarantee this is going to turn into a championship, but I love the three young players the Cavs already have. Donovan Mitchell is a great fun player. They've got a good coach. The GM's done a great job. I'm hoping they'll still add to the mix. You know, you got Rubio back, you got Kevin Love, you got LeVert. And they have some flexibility to trade. Maybe they'll still do something else here. Who knows? I know they're up against the cap, but you'd think some veteran players would want to join this team because this is guys around the league. They know what's going on here. Like the Cavs are a fun team. They're going to be fun to watch. I think we are very lucky. This is the best combined talent of the three teams in this town, and I'm really excited about it. And all three teams have a chance to. I think all three teams have a chance. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen. But all three teams are championship contenders for the foreseeable future, and I don't think we've ever been able to say that.
G. Bush.
I echo what Bull's saying, and listen, it's the first time that I'm going to say that the Cavs are a legitimate contender without LeBron James being on this team. These guys pulled out a trade that I think really works for the future. It works for the present. It's going to be an exciting time to be a Cleveland fan. You know, you can watch Guardians, you watch Cavs, you watch Browns, and for so many years, it just seems like it's feast or famine with the Browns. And you know, we went, and to be honest, we went through a lot of stuff in the offseason with the Browns, right? You know, the whole Deshaun Watson stuff, the Baker Mayfield stuff. I just love the fact that now we have a fresher breath of air just coming through here and able to get a guy like Donovan Mitchell, who's a bona fide superstar with a young team. I'm excited for basketball season. I'm excited for football season. I'm excited for baseball season. Hey, it's great to be a Clevelander right now. And
my final thought, shout out to Corey, who in the chat said that he was the first one to come up with the new Cleveland Spiders. If I stole that from you, Corey, I apologize, but we give credit where credit's due here. Last thing, I don't know when if this ever happens, but very rarely in sports do you have a backcourt where both backcourt partners are all-stars. And for the next 5 to 10 years, the Cavaliers have two guys in the backcourt who should be annual all-stars in Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell.
Well,
on top of two big guys, Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, with both all-star potential.
And that's the thing. You look at Portland, who had the two small great guards, where you could compare the backcourts like what Portland had and what the Cavs had. The difference is we got Mobley and Allen, and they didn't have that.
Exactly. They had Zach Collins and Yusuf Nurkic.
Right. I guess that's a huge difference. Mobley, I think we all think Mobley's going to be an all-star. It might even be this year. He's already playing at an all-star level defensively, and he'll get there offensively. I think we all believe that. And obviously Jared Allen, is just one of those guys that's consistently a borderline all-star type of player, right? So, if Jared Allen is your fourth best player, you got a pretty freaking good team.
We'll take it.
Tomorrow on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show at 11 o'clock, we will start the show with more reaction to the Donovan Mitchell trade. We're going to break it down from the people you did not hear today, including Jason. We're going to have to get Jason on.
And let me ask you this, Mikey. Can we start the show early tomorrow so we can spend more time on this, or is that not doable? I mean, I'm willing to do it, but
I have a lot to do to get what we need to be done.
Yeah,
so
all right.
It depends.
All right.
There's a lot of moving pieces on the other half. It's also
it's bad. It's bad. Honestly, to be honest, it's bad timing that we're doing the Ohio State show tomorrow. But everybody's pumped for the start of the Ohio State season, so we were planning on doing 2 hours. We're still going to do that. Obviously, we've done it almost a whole. We've done over an hour on the Cavs today, and we'll talk some tomorrow. And so I'll be talking about Donovan Mitchell in my podcast that I'll be doing tomorrow morning. So there'll still be plenty of this, but and I will get back to it a little, especially early next week before we get into full Browns game week coverage.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. G. Bush, you gonna plug anything? You got your clothing line. You got what we got.
Listen, shout out to the barbershop. Make sure you listen to barbershop. It'll be on the air 92.3 The Fan, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Saturday. We'll be talking about this, and don't forget, I'm on the Browns post-game show, but you can listen to me to the 92.3 The Fan tailgate show. I'll be on from 9 a.m. to kickoff.
No, you can't plug another thing.
Don't plug that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be everywhere. You told me to plug it.
But
I'm going to be everywhere.
Nothing better. Our post-game, the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, Browns post-game with the three of us is going to be on fleek. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We're out. We're out. That was good, Bull. You nailed it. We're out.
We're out?
Okay.
But it's going to be so good, and we're going to be joining you in a 2-minute warning. So 2-minute warning of Browns-Panthers, we'll be on live. The other post-game shows in town, they're doing 10-minute commercials. They're playing boring press conferences. We are talking with you for at least a half hour, if not an hour or more, starting at the 2-minute warning. And let me plug my Cameo. I got 2 Cameo videos I'm going to do as soon as I'm done here. Check out my Cameo at Adam the Bull. I have 2 more people that have asked me to do that. How about this? This one guy sent me a thing. He wants me to do his fantasy draft order based on each league's members' 3 favorite movies. So he emailed me a list of each team members' 3 favorite movies, and I'm going to pick the draft order based on how much I like those movies. Thank you, Joe Durbin, for saying I'm a legend. You're damn right I'm a legend. We are all legends on this show. This is the best show in all of Cleveland. Everything else sucks. No, everything else is okay. But keep watching us. Click on the link. Click on the not the link.
Andy Baskin in the comments.
Like button.
What's that?
Is that Andy Baskin in the comments?
Andy Baskin?
We can imagine that's Andy Baskin.
Andy
Shout
Baskin.
Out to 85. Hey, shout out to you guys. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and we up out of here. Peace.
Let's go.